Hey, this is Tony. I'm back in the garden. It's springtime. See the beautiful tree behind me? And you can see the flowers here. The forsythias. The daffodils. So everything is starting to spring up. Everything is starting to spring up and bloom. So, it's the beginning of new life in the garden. The spring, after the winter, where everything kind of just went into hibernation, is now coming back to life again. And I think that one of the things I wanted to touch upon was, I don't know if you remember seeing my walk in the garden in November when I talked about that I was in the fall of my life. Because I said that 0 to 25 is spring. When you're the age of 25 to 50, that's kind of the summer. And 50 to 75 is the fall. 75 to 100 is the winter. And I had somebody say that when they saw the name on that video, which was the fall of my life, they didn't watch it. They didn't watch it because they don't want to kind of admit that they're in the fall of their life. At least I think that's what it is. And it's kind of I was thinking about that, and I said, well, why, I made a lot of good points about how you can enjoy the fall in your life. And the only reason I can come up with that somebody wouldn't want to enjoy the fall in their life is because they're scared of the winter. And scared of the winter, which is coming after the fall, right? Because the winter is a time of things going into hibernation. And I guess in the 75 to 100 year mark, that's the end of your life. However, as you can see, we just passed winter, and spring, there's a new birth, there's a rebirth of all the plants and flowers. So I personally believe that there's life after death, and that there's a heaven, and that in heaven there's no pain, no suffering, no sadness, only joy. So since I have this future hope, the fall and the winter really don't bother me that much, because I have a hope for the future, for the spring. And so let me put it to you this way. If you have a hope for the future, if you have a hope for what comes after this life, you can live your fall and winter in hopeful expectation, in looking forward to something, like we look forward to the spring. So if you go along with me and have that expectation, and when you come to the end of your life and you pass to the next life, if I'm right, depending on who's there first, you can thank me. But let's say you go through your life, like I say, with hopeful expectation. You enjoy the fall, you enjoy the winter. And let's say you come to the end of your life and I was wrong. If I was wrong, so what? It's kind of a win-win, because you still live the end of your life enjoying it with hopeful expectation instead of fear. And you know what? If I'm wrong, you can't even tell me I was wrong, because that's the end. So as I'm talking about this, it's funny because today is the Saturday before Easter, and I'm thinking, for those who follow the tradition of Easter, what I'm talking about actually goes along with Easter, right? Because yesterday was Good Friday, and was a day of sadness, and yet Sunday is a day of joy, of new life. And so that's our message today, and hope you enjoyed it. And till the next time, hey, peace, love, and to the next life.